Alrighty, so we're going to talk about special right triangles. This video is going to be on the 30, 60, 90. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start off by saying if only one side of the right triangle is given, then the Pythagorean theorem cannot be used to solve for the other two sides. Okay, and there's two types of special right triangles, 45, 45, 90 and the 30, 60, 90, and they both have simple relationships between their sides. Okay, these can be these can be used to solve for the missing sides when only one side is given. Okay, so let's look at our 30, 60, 90. Okay, so the relationship that we have here is this is called the short leg, which is across from the 30-degree angle. We have the long leg, which is across from the 60-degree, and then of course the hypotenuse, which is always across from the right angle. Okay. Now the relationship for this one is whatever the short leg is, so let's call that x. Okay, the long leg is going to be that times the square root of 3. So we're going to have x times the square root of 3. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. So short leg times the square root of 3 is equal to the long leg. Okay, and then for the hypotenuse, it's going to be the short leg times 2. Okay, so our hypotenuse is going to be 2 times x. Okay, or we could think short leg times 2 is equal to the hypotenuse. Okay, so I use the grid format just like for the 45, 45, 90, 30, 60, 90, x times square root of 3, and then 2 times x. Okay, so for example, if we have that x is 3, okay, then the long leg would be 3 times square root of 3. And then the long leg would be the short leg, the hypotenuse would be short leg times 2. So 3 times 2 is 6. Alright, so let's do a few problems. Alright, so we're going to work given the short leg first. I always start off with the grid. It's just the way it keeps me organized. Okay, x square root of 3, 2x. Okay, y'all, if you like using that simple formula from the previous slide, use that. I use the grid. Okay, so we're given the 30 degree. Okay, be careful, y'all, because this is the 30 degrees, so that 5 is across from the 30 degree. So that goes in the 30 degree column. Okay, y'all, anytime we're going from left to right on the grid, so left to right, we multiply. Okay, so 5 times square root of 3 is our 60 degree column. Okay, here's the big part, y'all. Always, always, always return back to the 30 degree column. Okay, so we're going to use the short leg to solve for both the 90 and the 60, or the long leg and the hypotenuse. For long leg and hypotenuse. Okay. Okay, so for our hypotenuse, 5 times 2 is 10. Alright, let's try another one. Alright, so we have our short leg. I draw my grid. 30, 60, 90, x square root of 3, 2x. Alright, so we're given 6 square root of 3. Okay, so since I'm going from left to right, I'm going to multiply. So we have 6 square root of 3 times square root of 3. Okay, so we get 6, okay, 3 times 3 is 9. So we get 6 times 3, which is 18. Okay, we're going to go back to the 30-degree column. Okay, so we're going to do 2 times 6 square root of 3. So 2 times 6 is 12, and then we have our square root of 3. Okay. All right, yeah, let's try another one. So this is going to be given the long leg this time. Okay, so we're going to have to do some dividing on this. Okay, I always start off with the grid. 30, 60, 90, x square root of 3, 2x. Okay, so since we are given the 60 degree, which is 9, we're going to put 9 in our 60-degree column. Okay, so we have to go back to the 30-degree column in order to solve for the 90-degree column. Okay, so when we are going from right to left, okay, we divide. Okay, so we're going to have 9 divided by square root of 3. Okay, now we have to rationalize that denominator, so we have to multiply the numerator and the denominator by square root of 3. So at the top we get 9 square root of 3. On the bottom we get square root of 9. Okay. Numerator is 9 square root of 3 divided by 3. Okay, then we can simplify one more step. 9 divided by 3 is 3, and then we keep our square root of 3. Okay, so that's when we went backwards. Okay, so the last step, we're going from 30 to the 90 now. So we're going from left to right is always multiplying. Okay, so I'm going to color code this, so I'm using green this time. Okay, so we're going to do 3 square root of 3, and we're multiplying that by 2. Okay, so 2 times 3 is 6 square root of 3, so that's going to be our answer. So 6 square root of 3, and then our short leg was 3 square root of 3. Alright, I saw another one given the long leg. So 30, 60, 90, x squared root of 3, 2x. Okay, again, y'all be careful, because even though it has 30 degrees on there, okay, that 10 square root of 5 is still across from the 60. So that goes in our 60-degree column. Okay, y'all, we're going to go from right to left, so we need to divide. So 10 square root of 5 divided by square root of 3. We have to rationalize that denominator. So we're going to multiply by square root of 3 for top and bottom. So on the top we get 10 times square root of 15. On the bottom we have square root of 9. So we have 10 square root of 15 divided by 3. Y'all, that is as far as we can go. So that is going to be our short leg. So 10 square root of 3 divided by 3. Okay, so then we're going to take that answer. Okay, this time we're going from left to right. So we're going to multiply that by 2. So 2 times 10 square root of 3 divided by 3. Oh, excuse me. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Looking at the wrong problem. That's correct. Okay, so 10 square root of 3 divided by 3, and we're multiplying that by 2 to get the hypotenuse. Okay, so remember, anytime you're multiplying fractions, we go across the top. So 2 times 10 is 20, and then we have the square root of 3. 1 times 3 is 3. Okay. 20 is not divisible by 3, so that's going to be our answer for the hypotenuse. So 20 square root of 3 divided by 3. Alright, so let's try when we're given the hypotenuse. Okay, same grid, 30, 60, 90, x square root of 3, 2x. Okay, so this time we have the hypotenuse of 12. Okay, yeah, we always want to return to the 30-degree column first. So since we are going from right to left, we need to divide. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay. Okay, and then to go from the 30 to the 60, we multiply because we're going from left to right this time. So we have 6 square root of 3. Alright, let's try one more. Okay. $30, $60, $90, x squared root of 3, 2x. So we have 8 square root of 5. Okay, so we are going back to the 30-degree column. We always want to return there before solving for any other piece. So we need to divide because we're going from right to left. So 8 square root of 5 divided by 2. And then we have 8 divided by 2 is 4 square root of 5. Okay, and then from there we're going to then solve for the 60-degree column. Okay, so we are going to multiply now by square root of 3. So we have 4 square root of 5 times square root of 3. So when we multiply that, 5 times 3 is 15. So that's going to be our answer. We can't simplify that. So 4 square root of 15. Okay, so in conclusion, when you're doing a 30, 60, 90, it is going to be short leg times square root of 3 is equal to the long leg okay, or it's going to be 2 times that short leg is equal to the hypotenuse. Okay, and then again, you can manipulate those problems any way that you need to in order to solve for other pieces. Okay, so for example, if we wanted to solve for the short leg, okay, all you do is divide that by the square root of 3. Okay, so then you would have the short leg is equal to the long leg divided by square root of 3. Okay, I'm going to clean this up a little bit so we don't get confused with too many lines. And then same thing for the bottom. You can divide both pieces by 2. Okay, so if you're working with the hypotenuse, you need to go to short leg. So short leg is equal to the hypotenuse divided by 2. Okay, so I hope that helps y'all. Remember, never give up, never surrender. You can do it. Bye.